Hi, my name is Ryan Rutherford, and I am lead designer on Dead and Buried.
So, Ryan, what's it like working with Oculus hardware and the Oculus Touch?
It's a lot of fun. It opens up a whole new world. VR itself is a whole new platform, but once you get the touch controllers, now you can interact with the environment. In Dead and Buried, you're picking up your 6 shooters from your holsters. You're ducking and hiding behind cover, and you're actually reaching out and shooting. It's a whole new experience altogether.
What are some of the challenges when developing a game, not only for VR, but also with the Oculus Touch?
A lot of new things. VR in general, again, is a whole new platform. So things like even the simplest things, as in terms of a aiming reticle, doesn't quite work as well in VR. So another thing we notice is that people, since you're physically aiming the gun, most people can't hit things very well, and so we added some things to help, like a laser sight and everything, which may not fit in a Wild West shooter, but people have a lot more fun, and that's, at the end of the day, that's what trumps all. So
This is a lot different than any Wild West shooter I've ever played. You guys have 4 different classes. Talk about how each class plays slightly differently, has different weapons.
well, we have different game modes across the game. Every player is pretty much kind of evenly balanced and everything like that. You can pick different characters and whatnot. But we have different game modes across the game. One of them is like the shootout, which is basically a 2-on-2 team deathmatch. One of the levels we have is a saloon shootout, where you're ducking behind the saloon bar, and then you're picking up dynamite and launching across the map. Then we have the robbery game mode, which is more of a tug-of-war type game mode, where in particular level that we're showing here, the train heist, the bad guys are trying to push the good guys back in the train, and they're trying to rob the train. So it's more of a tug-of-war back and forth. We also have a horde mode, cooperative game mode, where 4 players band together and try and fight off waves of enemies.
So, how are you guys dealing with the motion sickness that that some people get when they play VR games?
We limit most of all, there's not really any movement besides your physical movement. So you spawn in your one physical space, but you can move around, several feet, front, back, left, and right. You're physically ducking behind cover, leaning behind pillars, and when you die, you either respawn to the next spawn point, you get a different vantage point. You may be able to reach down and grab a shotgun or grab a stick of dynamite. So your vantage point and everything changes at that point, but it's a lot about using what's around you, and we've noticed that no one has any issues with similar sickness in this game. So for one, you have guns and everything, so we wanted to actually avoid a lot of the gore or blood or anything like that. We want it to be a fun game that a lot of people can enjoy and you can play with your friends. We put a lot of thought into the character design, make them fun, animated, like the Undertaker. He's this sort of the prospector in the game, and he will kind of lead you through and kind of explain different game modes and kind of interact with you and teach you things. And then the characters themselves, and the world itself, was supposed to be this really fun place you want to continue to go back to. We always think of it as like, the Disneyland. You always want to kind of go there. You have this fun experience. The world itself is inviting. So we put a lot of that into the design and the art direction of the game.
And when does your game come out? What platforms will be on? Obviously, Oculus.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be for the Rift and Touch. It's designed for that, and it's going to be there day one on Touch launch.